Hello friends, it's been a long time since the last video. Yes, I'm still alive. Okay, so today I'm going to share a new video with you. So this is a new tool I've built recently. Basically, this tool is used to merge PDF files on your Google Drive. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the interface, user interface built with Google Picker API. So you can choose the PDF files on your drive and choose the files you'd like to merge. Okay, so let's cancel it. And here I have a menu here to open this dialog. So if I run the a function under this merge PDFs menu, you will see this dialog and you'll be able to pick the PDF files. So let's try to pick some files here. So I picked two files here, and let's click this select button. And as you can see here, the selected files here, file information, just very simple file information about the file index and the file name. And also you can check the file. This is a link to your file if you'd like to check it. All right, you have a preview of the PDF file select. Same for the second one, and you have last edit time and date for the file. Okay, you can add more information about these files here, but it's not a big deal. It's just some information you'd like to share with the end users. Okay, in this input here, you can put a new name for the file you're going to merge. Okay, so if you leave it as blank, I have a default name in the script, so you can leave it as blank if you like. So I just leave it as blank, and I can try to click this merge button here. If I click it, it will go. This button is going to be disabled, so you cannot click it again. Okay. So if everything goes well with no error, you should be able to see this message. So we have a code here. This is like a status code. So it could be some errors here, but this one is success. So the file have been merged. As you can see here, we have the result for the merged file, and this is the default file name. Okay, we also have a link for this file. As you can see, if you click it, and you should be able to see the file. And so this is the first one with my first name, and this is the second page for my last name. Okay, so if you check the first, this is the first one, so this is second page. So yeah, second page, and this is first page. So basically you can pick the files you'd like to merge, and they can do it, and we're going to pick the files from Google Drive, and we're going to save the merged file on your Google Drive. Okay, so it's merged successfully. All right, no issue with that. And you also so I created a folder enter the same folder with this file. So I have a folder called merged PDFs, so you will be able to see the result here. So this is a file we just merged. Okay, maybe we can try more files. So if you'd like to do another merge, you can close this and do this open function again. And you can click this select button. So you're going to reload the file selector. Okay, so this time I'm going to try more files. Let's try 5 PDFs. All right. So you may notice for these files there is no file extension for these files, so it will be so it's okay. So since these are PDF files, we should be able to merge it. So this time I'm going to rename it. I'm going to have a name to override the default file name. Okay, I said this is a test file name, and let's do this merge. Okay, it's going to take a while. All right, so now we have this file, and if you go back to the folder, you should be able to see it here. So yes, we merged the 5 PDF files. So as you can see here, this is some very for the invoice PDF in PDF format I did for another project. As you can see here, all the PDF files are merged together. Okay, so everything works fine. Alright, so if you think this would be helpful for you, you can simply make a copy of my project to your Google Drive and do some very simple setting, and you should be able to use it on your Google Drive. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, so let's close this one. So first of all, I will going to share this project with you, and you please go to File and make a copy of this file to your Google Drive. And this script will be copied to the new file, so don't worry about the script. So I'm going to rename it for YouTube, okay? And save it, enter the same folder, okay? So now I have a new file, and close the old one. Let's try to see if I can see it. Okay, so this file which I'm going to share with you, so you can make a copy of it. So in that way, you don't need to do some modification on my file. So if somebody else needed to use this file, they won't get any errors. Okay. All right. Once you copy my file to your Google Drive, and if you cannot see the menu here, you maybe need to refresh again. Okay. Let's see what happened. Still loading the page. Okay, now you have this menu. Okay, it's called merge PDFs, and we only have one function here called open, so it's going to open the dialog. So for the first time, you're going to ask you for the authorization, because in the script you're going to use some APIs, and you need to allow the access to your data. So this is what we are doing here. As you can see here, you're going to ask your permission to your Google Drive, and you can see we're going to see edit and create and delete files from your Google Drive. So we only have 4 APIs we're going to use in this project. So just allow them to use your data on Google Drive. Okay. Okay. So let's try it again to see if it works. So right now, I think everything should work fine. So for me, it should be fine. But for you, you maybe have something to need to be updated, because we using 2 APIs in this project. The first one is the Google Picker API, which is allow us to pick files from the Google Drive. So it's like a file dialog on Windows. Okay. So there, as you can see here in this script, from the tools script editor, you will see all the script for this project. Here we have 3 files. Okay. For the first one, this code.js file. Here I'd like to say, let me zoom in a little bit so I can see it more clearly. And the first thing I'd like to show with you is in this gs.html file. Here I have a API key. You may be needed to replace it because this key is under my Google account. So if you only copy this to your script, maybe someday I disabled this API key, so your project will not work anymore. Okay, so you need to create an API key on your Google Cloud console. So maybe you need to follow the instructions. Let's show you some guidance. Have script file dialog. So here, let's try to search file. Okay, here you can see all the instructions about how to create a file dialog in Google Apps Script. Okay, very detailed information, including how to create an API key, how to generate the API key here, and all the sample code you can hear. I'm using the sample code here. Okay, I'm using all the code from this demo, and I did some modification in my code. You don't have to worry about it. So you only need to follow the instructions from 1 to 7 and to generate this API key. So once you got this API key, you need to replace my API key with yours. Okay? I think that's very easy to do for you. And another API, a secret API key you need to change is in this code.js file. So in AppScript, we don't have a built-in API to merge PDFs. So I'm using a third-party API to merge the PDF files. Okay, so I'm only use API from this Comfort API website. So basically, I just register a new account and I got a free API key here. So this is my secret, as you can see here, for my account. So I have this API key I need to use. So I suggest you also to create a new account on this website and generate a new API key for your account. So you only need to copy this API request. Okay, you can copy all of them. So the secret only actually only need to change the secret, but you also can copy this and you replace this URL with yours. Okay, this is mine. This is a URL created by my API key. So if once you created your own API key on this website, you need to change it because I may delete this after the video. Okay, so the only 2 things you need to change for this project. So if you do the change, and you should be able to run this tool on your Google Drive. So everything should be fine. Okay, so basically that's all for the users who don't want to know more about this project. So if you are very interested in Google Apps Script and you'd like to learn or more about this project, I'd like to review the steps and the basic logics about this project and share some more information with you if you are interested. So, okay. So basically, the idea is very simple. As you can see here, we have a script to open a file dialog, and in this file dialog, you can choose the PDF files from your Google Drive. And in this file dialog, we can collect the file information. As you can see here, we can collect the file information, including the file name, file edit time, file ID, and the file URL. So all of this information we can get from this file dialog. Okay, once you get all of this information, you can retrieve the data from your Google Drive and pass the data to this API here and merge it as one single PDF file. Okay, so here, as you can see here, you have an input and you are going to have an output. So once you have this input PDF files with this API, you are going to have an output as the PDF file. So this is the whole idea. Okay, once you get this output, you can create a new PDF files on your Google Drive. So this is basically what we are doing here. So it's a little bit mess here because so let me try to explain this to you. Okay, so basically in this code.js file here, the first function, I'm going to explain this from start. So the first function here is this open function here to build the menu. This is very easy to understand. So in this menu, we're going to have this show picker function. So we go to this show picker function. This show picker function, we're going to create a user interface with this picker.html file. Okay, so this is how we're going to build this user interface to you, and you are going to have select PDF title as for this dialog. If you click this button here, yes, this is select PDF as to merge. So that's very easy to understand. So for other stuff here, so once the file dialog is open, so the script, so all the actions you are doing in this file dialog is from this gs.html file. So this is JavaScript we're using. So basically, once this file dialog is loaded, we are going to call this function here. We should see it here. So once this file dialog is loaded, so it's called window on load, we're going to call this function get-auth token. So this function is defined above here to load. Okay, so if we run this function, we're going to create a file picker. So it's just a Google picker. So I'm going to call this function. Okay, we're going to run this function here. This may confuse a lot of people here because this function is called get-auth token, and here we also have auth token, and we here use a Google App Script run to run a server-side function here. So basically, this get-auth token function is defined in the app script. If you go to the app script, you should be able to find this function here, get-auth token. So basically, this get-auth token, where is it? It's here. Okay, it's going to generate a token, okay, for you. All right. So once you got the token, you should be able to run this create picker function. So this create picker function, as you can, all the explanation for this function. This is provided by Google. You can read it. So you're going to create a picker. So the file picker, all the constructions you can do for the file picker, you can do it here. So as you can see here, because we are doing the manipulation for the PDF, so we only enable the PDF files here, and we also have the multiple select enabled, so we can choose more than one files. Okay, we also have max item set here, so I set it to 10 here. So if you have if you have a request then 10 is more than 10 PDFs, so you need to change the variable here. You need to change it to, you can also, you can disable it, you can delete it, so you can select more, you can. Okay, so basically all the stuff for the file dialog you can configure here. All right, so once you create the file dialog, okay, so once you create it, so once you select some file, so basically if you select some file and let's go back to the select. So here we have a callback function. Okay, so called picker callback. So basically this callback function will do what? If you select some files here, you click this select button, the callback function will be triggered. If you click this cancel button, the callback function will also be triggered. So that's the action how we can do things here. So if you clicked select, okay, select, and as you can see here, we have a value, we have a variable here called action. So if the action is equal to picked, that means you clicked the select button. Okay, so else, as you can see here, if you clicked the cancel, we're going to close the file dialog here. So here, if you clicked the select button, so we're going to get all the document you select, and we're going to retrieve some information about these docs, the PDFs actually here. So you can get the ID, and you can get the URL, and you can get the edit time, and you also can get the title, and you even get the icon of the document for the icon of the document type. Okay, so if it's a PDF, it's going to show you something like icon like this. Okay, and I'm going to return this information, and I'm going to build the table. Okay, you can see here we select 3 files here. We're going to build as you can see, we have built a table here for these files to display the information, and we also build the input here and 2 buttons. That's what we do if we choose the select, if we click the select button. As you can see here, we have HTML. We here build a table. Yes, this is the start of the HTML, and we have the selection. Actually, let's rename selected files here, and for the paragraph here, and we also have the start of the table. As you can see, we have this index name and the last edit. So this is the header. You see index name, last edit. So this is the first row for the header, and here I'm going to append more table rows to this HTML. Okay, so I'm going to loop through all the docs. Okay, for each document, I'm going to grab all this information, like the index. So the index, the icon, and the the file name and the file URL, put them together in this table, and the edit time here. So you can see here we have the first column here for the index, and the second column here, a lot of stuff here like the link, the image, and we also have the title. And the third column is for the time. Okay, the last edit time. All right, so we just append the rows for each file. Okay, so finally we close the HTML, not as HTML, we close the table. And also this is input HTML. Okay, we only have a type input field, and we place a placeholder here for merged file name. So that's what you see here, this merged file name. Okay, so this is for the input. We also have these buttons. We have two buttons here. So the first one is for the merge, and the second one is to open the file dialog again. Okay, so the first one we have only function to call this merge PDF function. So this function is defined here. So once we click this merge button, we're going to call this merge PDF function. Okay. So that's all the information here. Let's save it. So once you click this merge, so you click this merge function button, you're going to call this merge PDF function. So in this function, we are going to get the file name from the file name input. So if you go back to the HTML, we have an ID for this input. We are going to get the input value for the file name. Okay, so we also going to disable this button, this merge button. So if we go back to the button here, we gave it ID merge. So we're going to find the button and disable it. So once you have this file name, and you should be able to run. So you also use this Google.script run to run a server-side function. So this merge PDF is defined in this code.js file. If you go back to the top, so this is a merge PDF function. We're going to take two parameters. So first one is IDs for the files you select, and the second one is for the file name. So for the merged file, okay. So for the IDs, for these IDs, we define here as a global variable here. So we define the IDs here as array. So in this callback function, so if we select some files, we're going to reset this IDs variable and put the new. So for each of these files, we're going to push the ID to this array. So here we can use it in this function. So if the merge PDF file, so basically this function is going to return some result here. So if this function runs successfully, we're going to return a result. So this result we're going to be appended to this app. Okay. So this app I didn't introduce it. So but this app is defined. So it's basically this div. Okay. So with the ID called app, so you can add more HTML element to this app. Okay. So basically, I'm going to show you the result. All right. So in this merge PDF file, I'm going to have a result from this post function. So this post function is going to have two parameters: the file name and the file data. Okay. So the file data basically is an object with a name and a data encoded with the base 64. Okay, it's going to, so you may need to read this document here. So if we choose some file here, I don't have any PDF file on my drive. Let's try PDF. All right. So here, this is the data structure. You can do the post. You can post to this to their server, and they will on the server they were going to do the merge for you. Okay, multiple PDFs you can do. So here, as you can see, they have a parameters. You're going to have a name, and all the files are going to show here. If you have more files, you need to add more here. So let's try to add another one. Okay, it's added to this array. So basically, all the new files you can add. And we have some options you can configure here. So like the file name you can do. Let's do this is test file. And we're going to add a new parameters into this array. So here, as you can see, for this parameters, its name is file name and value is this is test file. Okay, you can do more like so other options you can do. Maybe a password for your file. Okay, so basically this is a data structure. This is JSON format in the JSON format. So if you go back to it, so in this post function here, we are going to have this URL for this API, which you can find here. And the data, the form data, the data structure is like this. The parameters, you will have name files. Okay. So the structure is exactly the same. So only follow the structures you got from this website. Okay. So if something wrong here, you're going to have a fail. We're going to merge your files. Okay. So basically, I use this data structure, this JSON structure from their website, and combine my data to these file values here, and we're going to do a request here. Use this URL fetch API. Okay, we do a post, and as you can see here, this method is called post. So once you submit your data to this to their server, so I'm going to, if everything works fine, I'm going to return something. We're going to return something as a response. So we're going to remove this log. So I'm going to, if everything works fine, we're going to return an object to you, and in this object, we're going to have the files. So the first one is the file you're going to need, and you're going to decode their data because the data encoded. Okay. So with this data, we can create a new file. So this is a folder, and enter this folder. So this is folder, enter the same directory of your file. Okay, it depends on where you put your files. All right. So in this folder, I'm going to create a new file with this data. Okay. All right. Once we created the data, we're going to put some information, some messages. So this is the messages for the success. Okay. If everything works fine, I'm going to return this success information. So if something else happened, I'm going to put some error messages to the end users. Okay. So let's try to do something wrong. So let's see Let's see if we change the secret here. So let's put another word here, put an A under the URL. So you're going to change this API key invalid. So let's try to merge something here. Let's try to merge it. So as you can see here, we get a error like error code 4010, and you get invalid user credentials bad secret. So if you get this, that means your API key is wrong. Okay, so just like that. So let's remove it and save it and try to do the merge again. Where is the dialog? I think I close it. Let's try to do it again. Okay, merge. Okay, you got it. And if you go back to the folders, yeah, you got a new file. I just created 715. Okay, so this is a new file. So basically, that's all I'd like to share with you for this project. And if you find, actually I didn't cover all of it. So if you find anything you don't understand, and if you have any questions or comments, and you can send me email, or you can leave your comment below. So by the way, if you didn't subscribe my channel, please subscribe it. So I maybe need to have more information to share with you going forward. And actually, if you have any other ideas or requests about the Google App Script, and you can send the request to me, and I will do my best to find a solution for you. And maybe if it's very interesting, maybe I will do a video for the project and share it with others. They may be interested. Okay, so that's all for today, and I will see you next time. And stay safe, by the way. Thank you. Bye bye.